Nnamdi Kanu suffering internal bleeding. Rivers crisis Fubara declares holding firm to completing tenure. Labour Party fires Tinubu over 2024 budget. Also, Nigerians lament the state of hardship bedeviling the nation amidst Tinubu's visit to Lagos. And earthquake hits Japan as tsunami warning issued. Details now. The world news begins with the indigenous people of Biafra calling on the Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led government to release its leader Nnamdi Kanu, disclosing that the pro-Biafra activist is battling internal bleeding resulting from alleged torture in the detention of the Department of State Services. Recall that Nnamdi Kanu has been in DSS detention since 2021 following his arrest in Kenya and his repatriation to Nigeria. The Supreme Court on December 15 dismissed the ruling of the appeal court and okayed his trial on the charges of terrorism filed against him by the federal government. However, in a statement on Sunday, the 31st of December 2023, IPOB spokesman Imal Powerful said Kanu needs urgent and specialized medical emergency treatment to avert serious outcomes. Also, he stated that the current medical situation may have risen from ruptured veins and internal bleeding disorders arising from the beating and torture he was subjected to by the Nigerian secret agents who kidnapped him in Kenya in 2021. He disclosed further that the drug overuse and abuse the DSS has subjected Kanu to may also be part of the problem. He stated that the leader requires medical emergency treatment outside the DSS facility to undergo surgery for his survival. Even the DSS medical director agrees that Kanu requires urgent and serious medical attention to handle his case. The federal government and the British government should release Nnamdi Kanu on medical grounds for independent medical professionals to attend to him and carry out the surgery if necessary to save the unforeseen situation. Now, the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has affirmed that no level of political turmoil would disrupt the tenure of his administration. Governor Fubara expressed his unwavering commitment to providing quality leadership despite the efforts of those opposing his administration to dampen the spirit of the people of Rivers and disrupt the pace of development. He urged the people of Rivers not to be disheartened by the ongoing crisis, emphasizing that nothing would prevent him from successfully leading the affairs of the state. Governor Siminalayi Fubara conveyed the message during a church service which was held at St. Paul's Archdeaconry Parish in Opobo town on the New Year's Eve of 2024 in Opobo Nkoro local government area. Fubara said, and I quote, "What they want is this red biro, but it is still with me. We are the winners because we are still signing with the red biro. As long as we are signing with the red biro, development will continue in Rivers State," end quote. Also, he used the opportunity to underscore that nothing will impede his administration from reaching its destination as its foundation is firmly grounded in God, who alone will provide the grace to complete the process of building. The governor emphasized that there is already a well-designed development agenda and a predetermined level of progress set for Rivers State in 2024. He reiterated his unwavering commitment to working for the well-being of the state. Meanwhile, the Labour Party has berated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over the 2024 budget passed on Saturday by the National Assembly. The opposition party said the budget focused more on funding the luxury of the political elites and failed to prioritize the welfare and security of Nigerians. The National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party, Obiora Ifo, made this statement on Sunday in a 2024 New Year message of the party. E4 disclosed that the party noticed that in the 2024 budget, undue attention was given to the comfort of those in power to the detriment of the majority of Nigerians. He also disclosed, looking at the 2024 budget, we cannot fail to notice the undue attention given to the comfort of those in power at the detriment of the majority of the people. He expressed his concerns over items such as 3 billion naira for Senate car park, 1 billion naira for constitution review, 78.62 billion naira for the House of Representatives, and 36.727 billion naira for the National Assembly Office, 4 billion naira for National Assembly Recreation Center, amongst others in the allocations. E4 vehemently emphasized, while buttressing the state of the nation, disregarding whatever the government may have stipulated, stated that the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 elections, Mr. Peter Obi, had earlier drawn attention to the misplaced priorities and insensitivity of the president and his party in allocations of staggering sums for the renovation of the president and vice president offices and trips for them and their hangars, for which a humongous amount of 35.3961 billion naira was set aside. E4 expressed further that Nigerians have continued to suffer in the hands of bandits, terrorists, kidnappers, and criminals of all sorts, but all the administration is concerned about is the comfort of those elected to serve and make life better and more meaningful for ordinary Nigerians. End quote. Now, as the 2024 new year has dawned, Nigerians gave their expressions to the VOP news crew on how they expect the 2024 year should be and the implementation policies, recommendations to the Nigerian government to uplift the state of living. Let's take a listen to some residents in Lagos State while they express their desires to our correspondent, Ijeoma Egwuatu, on their expectations for the new year.
I'm expecting so great, expecting something bigger, something spectacular, you understand, from this year. And I want big things that I didn't do this year, understand. And even our government, I want our government to do things that even the youth will be amazing, understand. So I want things that people will be very happy seeing the government changing things, especially in the economy and in the area of financially, understand, so that things will work well. People will get happy, understand. There will be a lot of excitement with people around, enough excitement with people around, and when people look around, they will forget about what happened in the past years, you know. They will get happy and continue to live a normal new life. So that is what I can say about the new year for now.
As me as a person, honestly speaking, this country government have totally failed us. Democracy in Nigeria is already dead. Because one thing with this nation is that nothing that let me just start from the increment of fuel or nothing that add money today that Nigeria will expect to reduce from tomorrow. So definitely 2023 will be the way I see it, though I'm not praying for that, but the Nigeria system 2023 will be better than 2024. Likewise 2022, what we for example 4 years ago we bought chicken 6,000, 7,000, 3,000. Then this year like this now 20k. So what do we expecting from in 2024? We are only living by God's grace. Nigeria politics, they have failed us woefully. So I'm not expecting any good thing from them. We are only living by God's grace. Anything different at all, instead of anything different, it will be very worst. It will be very worst, because that is Nigeria's system. So me as a person, I'm depending on God. I'm not depending on Nigeria government. Nigeria government have nothing to offer. So I'm depending on God alone. I'm not depending on Nigeria government. Nigeria government have failed us woefully.
The government, they are just lying. We don't have a good government in this country. Right from the beginning, we don't have good government. And now, the city now, so many years. But now everybody depending on themselves. Everybody work hard by themselves, do everything by themselves to feed their family. They don't depend on government. But anyhow, they try to do anything in Nigeria. We still thank God. Everybody will survive. This new year, people should not depend on government. People should work very hard to make sure they feed their family and make it okay for them. Because our government, they are nowhere to be found. We don't need them. You don't need our government. Everybody should do things for themselves to make themselves happy. Make your family happy. No, leave them. They are lying. They are from the beginning. I'm not a kid. I'm 47 years old now. We right from the before when our father they have been lying to us since now till now. So we don't have any trust on them. They are all lying. We don't have a good government. Yeah, I don't know where they come from. Look at other countries. They are enjoying. They are doing well, but Nigeria is zero. Bad government right from the beginning. So we don't need them.
This year it go better on my own side though. I don't believe on my own government though. I believe on my own self, on my hustle. I don't believe on my government because I don't even think they have human feelings. That's all I see. 2024, make all men waiting for Nigeria, make them work hard though. Make them don't believe on our government though. If you go there, look, say government go do anything, say so far. Now outside you go sleep. So me I be furniture, and that's why they keep on working, hard work. Anybody will believe say government will do anything, na lie you. Then treat about all them child, only them kid. No problem. Now only thing I will tell Nigeria be that too.
And that was a cross section of Nigerians who precisely reside in Lagos giving up, telling our correspondent their expectations for the year 2024 and basically stating that they would only depend on themselves without relying on anything that has to do with the Nigerian government. And to talk about this, actually, I have the telephone Mr. Darlington. Now, Mr. Darlington is a political and social affairs commentator, and he's also always very vocal. I'm going to be introducing him right now while I ask him questions on some certain issues that transpired, a few days before the new year, and how Nigerians responded when the president visited Lagos. In fact, if you're watching us on YouTube, you will definitely see that video where the convoy of the president through the Lagos Island route and how Nigerians left the road. Those who initially used to show support to the president, we didn't see all the hailing, we didn't see all the laughter, we didn't see the pomp. All we saw were people who were just looking at the president and his convoy and asking, what exactly is the issue? Why are you disturbing us with the blurring of your siren? Mr. Darlington, Happy New Year to you, and welcome to the World News at 12 on VOP 90.3 FM.
Yeah, Happy New Year and Happy New Year to everybody and our listeners.
Thank you very much, Mr. Darlington. I sincerely do appreciate you taking your time to talk on some certain salient issues in the World News at 12. The president was in Lagos a few days ago, and when he came around, I did not see the pomp and gallery usually that we see in the country whenever the president is visiting any state. Rather, we just saw Nigerians clear the route, and while they did clear the route, a couple of people were complaining. They were talking about the fact that the president has not shown, or rather given them the promise that is duly deserving of them, and they were asking, what is the problem? What is your essence, or what is the essence of your presence in Lagos State, or what is the essence of your presence with all of your convoy? We are hungry. We need you to do something as soon as possible. What's your take on that development, Mr. Darlington?
You mean the development about the people? What exactly is you mean it's coming into Lagos?
The reaction of the people, specifically the last time he was in Lagos, before he was affirmed, there was a pump, there was a gallery, there was a support, there was that attitude of receptance. But this time around, everyone just left the road, and I asked them, just staring and looking at his convoy as they passed. Why do you think that is?
Actually, the first time he came in, that was after the elections. He came in a riotous mood and all that, maybe to tell the people how Lagosians love him and all that. So his acolytes in Lagos rented a crowd. They rented the crowd. All the Lagos state officials, they all came out from the airport and all that. And because of the way people complain and the traffic problem it caused during that period, that was why in the second coming, he had to think twice because people are not happy, and he knows that. That was why from the airport, he took a helicopter that landed him at Obalende, that's the Dam Barrage. And then from there, he took a car ride to his house. That was why his coming in the second time was so quiet. Because you cannot be behaving in such a manner when people are angry with you. He knows. He read the mood of the people. That there may be problem if you go the way he came in the first time. That was what happened. The people are not happy. And he said it in his New Year's speech now. He said it. That was what happened.
So the question is, obviously with what he saw on the streets, this is his state. Lagos is his abode. And he did not get the desired reception. Despite the fact that a lot of people initially did not know he was the one. But when they realized he was one passing through, there was that initial, would I say, hope or pump and gallery, that gracefulness that you give to a president, wasn't experienced. And the administration is saying that they promised something more for Nigerians in 2024 based on the president's broadcast this morning. But do you think Nigerians trust the promises, or do you think Nigerians should try to trust his promises, despite the fact that most of the policies that he has put in place has neither nor has it tried to quell the situation, the tense situation in the country? Is it possible that things will be expedited in 2024?
Answer. The people are beginning to realize that Tinubu's administration is the more you look, the less you see. This man told you he was coming to consolidate what Buhari did in office, and he is doing it perfectly. So the people are now beginning to realize what we have been saying from the beginning, that this administration is like a cashier to somebody. He is holding forth for the northern oligarchy. They are telling him what to do and what not to do, and that is what he will continue to do until he leaves that place. You remember that they were shopping for somebody they will hand over to. Until they settled with Tinubu, you saw how they went to Ben Ayade in Cross River. When they realized that one cannot play ball, they went to Dave Omani in Ebonyi. Because that one, they promised me if he come into 80, that was why he defected. And they were pumping money in Ebonyi to make him marketable and all that. When they realized that the Igbos did not support him, they now went for Jonathan. Remember when they went to Jonathan, I even bought a phone for him. The man that just left office. So they were looking around. When Jonathan said, that was when they now settled for Tinubu. That was what happened. So anybody expecting a miracle is wasting your time. Because one, Bloomberg have told you that we should expect more hardship in 2024 because of our economy. You are living on borrowed money. You are living on foreign aid. How can you make progress? How can you get the so-called El Dorado they are promising you? It's just the same thing Buhari did for 8 years, promising you El Dorado that it will never come. A mirage. So the people are beginning, his own people, APC people, especially people from the Southwest, they are beginning to realize that we don't enter one camp, so as they used to say. Nothing will come because there is nothing on ground. It's all about an elitist administration. Make sure that the people on top, they are taking care of the military, the legislators, the judiciary. These are the people that Tinubu is concerned with. Whatever happens below, it doesn't concern him. That is the way it is. And you can see it. You can see even the budget. Look at their locations. Making sure it favors the elite. And this is somebody who said that he's concerned about the plight of the ordinary Nigerian. So they are just telling because they know you cannot do anything. They know that the ordinary Nigerian cannot do anything. He cannot even influence what they do in government. They are taking care of those who will make trouble for them. That is what Tinubu is doing.
All right, Mr.
So any average Nigerian should not
we're running out
expect any
of
miracle
time.
from him.
In the president's national broadcast today, he said that the reason why the the conversation, or rather the difficult decisions were made, was to avert economic disaster. Would we say that the current state of the Nigerian economy the disaster has been averted? In as briefly as you can, because I wanted to talk about the situation with Nnamdi Kanu.
The decision, in fact, his decision even brought the economic disaster itself. That was why he kept reversing them after taking such decisions. Mention one decision he took that yielded any fruit. The subsidy, he's still paying subsidy. At least the World Bank told us so. The World Bank told us that this government is paying subsidy up to tomorrow.
Okay.
So which decision did he make that will benefit the masses? Let him tell us that decision. Let him spell it and then let us see how that decision impacted on the life of the ordinary Nigerian. That is how to prove a point. First of pocket. Let him mention that decision he has taken that will benefit the ordinary. Let him say it. Is it the floating naira that is now running like a crazy horse? Look at the dollar naira exchange rate.
All right,
Which is that decision that is resting on. Let him mention it so
Mr.
that I can now listen to him.
Thank you for that. Now, apparently, IPOB, the spokesperson of IPOB is saying that Nnamdi Kanu is suffering from internal bleeding, and the bleeding was due to the way they beat him up when they repatriated him from Kenya. They also talked about the fact that the drug overuse that was given to him in the DSS detention as well is also one of the reasons why, Nnamdi Kanu is suffering the internal bleeding. They said that since 2021, following his arrest, the Supreme Court, despite the fact that the Federal High Court had dismissed and asked him to be released, he has refused to be released. The DSS has refused to release him, and that due to the outcome that apparently there's serious internal bleeding currently going on internally in the body of Nnamdi Kanu, and they said it's due to the fact that he went through a lot of torture and that he's having medical complications in the DSS solitary confinement. So they're warning the federal government and asking them to release Nnamdi Kanu for this medical treatment. Otherwise, if he dies, that it will sink the country. What's your take on that?
Esther, do you remember the actual thing that caused problem in Rwanda? All this propaganda that it was a radio station that was reporting, it is a lie. What caused the problem was when the plane of Rabbi Hamani was shot down by, I think that was the Tutsis. It was there that the hell was broken loose. Because they see him as a symbol of their struggle and all that. But the presidency was shut down. And because of that, hell was let loose in Rwanda. That was what happened. Nnamdi Kanu is the symbol of Biafra struggle. The federal government is aware. So I don't know how they can contain what will happen if that man dies in their detention. I don't know how they will contain it. We have been saying it now. Nobody will listen. The court have told everybody, leave this young man alone. United Nations have said it. Yet the federal government of Nigeria insisted. They believe that nothing will happen.
Well, the spokesperson, Ipob, is saying that the DSS medical director, he said the DSS medical director agrees that Kanu requires urgent and serious medical attention to handle his case, and that the torture he has undergone in the hands of the DSS, in the DSS cell, the beating, the drug overdose used on him, sort of to mentally and psychologically disorient him while they try to get whatever information they want to get from him, is seriously causing a problem internally within his body, and that in order to quell whatever uprising, the government should think fast and do the needful. Do you think the government thinks that anything would happen, or they basically say nothing's gonna happen, there is nothing you guys can do rather than just talk?
I have just told you here, that young man is the symbol of Biafra or IPOB struggle. I don't know how they will I don't know what story they will tell us why they are still keeping Nnamdi Kanu in detention, where the real criminals that are killing human beings in the north are walking about freely. There is no justification. The whole world knows it. All this noise that they are making Nnamdi Kanu, if Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist, the whole world would have known. Up to today, nobody, no other country have gone out for a terrorist organization. No other country has seen Nnamdi Kanu as a terrorist. So why is the federal government of Nigeria defending him? The court have said all they need to say concerning him. Yet the federal government is still kept him inside that place. So I don't know what else to say, but I wish them well though. But nothing should happen to Nnamdi Kanu. That is all I can say. Nothing should happen to him.
Don't you think that it is his right to have access to proper medical care? Because this is not the first time we're hearing reports about his health specifically deteriorating. Don't you think that he has a right to have access to medical care even if he's facing court proceedings?
They deliberately don't want him to access any medical care so that he can die. Only God knows what they are doing to that young man inside that place. Only God knows. They deliberately don't want him to access any good medical care so that he can die. They will tell him that he died of natural causes. Remember that was how they injected Yaradua. Abata injected him and he died in detention. Not anybody to inject him. That was what they did. They wanted to inject him too. So whatever they are doing to him, what we are saying is that we must not look for Nnamdi Kanu. That is what the Igbos are saying. We must not look for him. All this man that nothing will happen is a lie. Something may happen, because everybody has seen that that guy is innocent. Everybody, the whole world is aware of what is going on with that young man's life. So we must not look for him, whether this government like it or not. I have told them before, 1967 is not 2004. The world has moved on. Level has changed. All this arrogance and impunity. Look at how people are murdering and killing people all over the place. Yet they could not arrest any of them and detain them. Esther, how do you justify that? People who like talking about Igbos and they will not see this injustice that is going on in the life of that young man. Look at how people went to a village in Jos and slaughtered an entire village. Nobody was arrested. Tell me where Nnamdi Kanu or IPOB went and killed anybody in the South East. They slaughtered an entire village and they were collecting taxes from people. Mention one place where it happened in the South East or anywhere. But they have the right to go and kill anybody, carry gun, do whatever they like, and nobody will prosecute them. I wish them well though. You see this thing they are doing. It will come to a head one day.
All right, Mr. Darlington, thank you so much for your take on the World News at 12. I sincerely do appreciate your input. Once again, Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you. And now, before we wrap up, an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.4 has hit northern Japan. Now, according to an international news medium, Al Jazeera, the Japan Meteorological Agency issued a tsunami warning along coastal regions of Ishikawa, Niigata, and Toyama prefectures. Today, it warned torrents of water could reach as high as 5 meters, which is about 16.5 feet. Hokuriku Electric Power said it is checking for any irregularities as it's unclear about its power plant. A spokesperson for Kansai Electric Power said there were currently no abnormalities at its nuclear power plants, but the company was monitoring the situation closely. And now to wrap up the World News at 12, here again are the top stories. You hear that IPOB warns Nnamdi Kanu suffering internal bleeding. Rivers crisis, Fubara declares holding firm to completing tenure. And Labour Party fires Tinubu over 2024 budget. Earthquake hits Japan as tsunami warning has been issued. That is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Esther Mwachukwu. Once again, Happy New Year to you. A new door